You're listening to the True North Success Podcast. Real stories of personal, professional, and financial wins from Alberta's best. With your hosts, Gary Ma and Amy Kim.
So hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today my special guest is James Keirstead. James is a visionary leader behind driving innovation in intelligent, affordable building technology. A lifelong entrepreneur, he previously co-founded expanding into 30 plus countries, passionate about innovation, growth, and empowering entrepreneurs. He actively supports driving business communities. It's a real pleasure to have him on the show today. Welcome, James.
Thank you, Amy. Pleased to be here.
Awesome. So, James, I gave a brief overview of your success. Can you fill in the detail of what you do and what are your main clients and how long you've been doing this for?
Sure. I'm the founder and CEO of Levin Electronics. We design and manufacture wireless control systems for large production builders. We have clients like Mattamy Homes, Brookfield Homes, D.R. Horton, Pulte, some of the biggest builders in North America.
Awesome. And how long you been doing this?
I've been doing it I bought the company in 2011, and it was originally a vertical integration play. I'm one of the guys that founded Arctic Spas back in the late 90s. And what a lot of people don't know about that company is that we vertically integrated a lot of our supply chain. And one of those things that we worked on was developing our own spa control system, which we did back in 2009. And in 2011, I bought this company to actually make the controls. So we were designing them, and then we wanted to make our own. I bought a small electronics contract manufacturing business here in Edmonton, and away things went. And then
Wow.
I met Reza Nasri from Landmark Homes. I don't know if you've ever spoken with Reza, but he is definitely an innovative visionary in the construction space. He was pre-building most of the walls for Landmark Homes in a factory here in Edmonton and wanted to seal the walls off and was looking for a way to remove the wire in the walls so that it didn't have to be inspected by the electrical inspections authority. And we came up with the concept of splitting the switch into its two operating components, the rocker that you interact with every day, and then the actual power controller or power break, and move the power controller as close to the load as possible. And you could mount the switch right on the drywall, communicate between the two with radio frequency. So that's
Wow. Well, yeah, that's very interesting because as the developer by myself, I'm always looking into some different way of building and shorten project period or even sometimes expedite that inspection process. Sometimes the city comes and it can be very tedious process as well. So yeah, I would love to hear more about that. So did you have some special background where kind of got you into that electrical and a little bit of like controlling and can you tell
No, I
me a
mean,
bit more about that?
I've been an entrepreneur pretty much my whole life. I have worked a few jobs when I was younger, but for most of my life, I've been an entrepreneur. And I would say over that period, I really have honed my product development skills. But I have no engineering background. Everything I've done, I've kind of learned along the way. I'm very fortunate that I have a very good team here at Levin, both in product management, product development, engineering, design. So, they're the ones that really make the vision a reality.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, so I know a lot of entrepreneurs and even the successful business owners, they don't often have all the detail level of the knowledges, but they know where to find it and how to find the resources that we needed. So it sounds like you're one of those people.
Yes.
Awesome. So you built a scaled and multiple companies from co-founding Blue Falls manufacturing and expanding Arctic spas into 30 plus countries. So
Yeah.
now I'm leading Levin Electronics with a bold vision of making intelligent building accessible to everyone. So what do you think truly sets you apart as a founder?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I could say what really sets me apart. I will say this. Um, I like to do things that will change the industry.
Mm,
So it's not so much about whether I'll make money. If you do a really good job of trying to build something that's really unique and that can be game changing for an industry, those things will come along. At least we hope as entrepreneurs. But it's not really my focus. I'm way more interested in how do we change something for the better. Uh, for example, we currently build houses on the ground, and we drill hundreds of holes and string hundreds of feet of copper wiring through homes for the sole purpose of turning a light on and turning a light off. And there really is a better way. And this concept of how do we get smart homes to become ubiquitous? How do we make it available to everyone? Is not really a technology problem, it's an economics problem. So, what we chased after was the money. We figured, okay, if we could get rid of all that material, if we could get rid of all that wasted labor that just is unnecessary and all the boxes, could it help offset the cost of the technology? And it turns out it could almost eliminate the cost difference. So imagine a production builder today has this option that they can deliver every single one of their homes wholly smart without adding a lot of costs to the homeowner, if at all. That to me is what's exciting. The idea that maybe 20 years from now, we won't run wire through the walls just to turn switches on and turn switches off because it doesn't make economic sense and it doesn't deliver added value to the customer.
Okay. So I remember you mentioned that your major clients are a little bit bigger home builders. I
Yes,
wonder, as a smaller builders or even homeowners, is it something that can we look into and adopt that your new technologies?
100%. It's available to everyone. It's just that the economic value is best in new construction because we can eliminate all that wasted material and labor, and that helps offset the costs of the technology. But it's available online on Amazon. Um, we don't do a lot of mass merchant retail. We mostly work because we are more of a B2B company. But it is available, and we have probably over 650,000 devices in the market today.
Okay. So as the homeowners who wanted to do something, so it's a good where would it be the good place to start with it? Looking at some Amazon, looking at some products, or how would
Yeah, I
you?
mean, they could look at Levin products on Amazon. They could go to our website. Um, or they could talk to, if they're looking at new homes, they could talk to builders, talk to their builder about it. If
Mhm.
we have several builders here in Alberta that already adopted our product and are using it in their new home construction,
Yeah.
and more coming on every year.
Okay, gotcha. So I can see that sometimes when people are not familiar with something, they often have some resistance to moving forward to the changes. So um, is it something your company would be help with, like talking to the builder if we have some builder we work with, but they never done a project like this before? So then how do we um, close that the gap between
Yeah.
the technology available right there, but the builder never done it before. So how can we reduce the gaps there to do
Yeah.
more projects like that?
Yeah, of course. We help customers. We spend a lot of time talking to builders and their electrical trades on how to adopt a product like ours, how to install a product like ours, what are the benefits, and how easy it is for the homeowner if they install this product ahead of time. Because it literally comes to the home. The electrical contractor installs the kit. He has to do no commissioning or anything. It's already pre-done at our factory. And all your homeowner has to do is download our app, scan the QR code on the gateway in the home, and they're off to the races, able to program their house, set scenes, timers, all kinds of stuff on their lighting system almost immediately, right from their mobile device.
Wow. So that is more operating point of view, right? So
Mm-hmm.
once it is installed. So then how do we do at the stage of like considering designing and adopting? And we probably builder or the homeowner probably interesting or even business the
Yeah,
probably interesting in learning about the process or even the cost involved. Like how much
sure,
are we going a little bit more than this? Usual the typical
sure.
build way or are we saving or how do we do about that?
Yeah, so the first place I would recommend checking out is our website. There's some really great workflows that show you kind of how the whole process goes.
Mhm.
And then if your builder is unfamiliar with us, have them reach out to Levin directly, and we can start the conversation of how we onboard and train and get everybody sort of aligned on the outcome that we're hoping for the homeowner, which is, this whole home smart lighting system.
Okay, cool. And okay, so do you see any okay, hold on. So as a lifelong entrepreneur who has successfully scaled business internationally and now lead a technology company focused on smarter and more efficient buildings, what advice would you give to aspiring other founders?
I would say two big things. One is aim high. One of the challenges I think most Canadians have is that we're very typically humble people. I don't like to do a business personally unless I believe that there is, at minimum national scale capacity, but preferably international scale capacity. So think big. I'd say that's
Mhm.
the first one. And believe that we can do it. When we started Arctic Spas, we knew or we believed in ourselves that we could manufacture products right here in Canada and compete globally. And we did. And that company still does spas all over the world. It's fantastic. I'm very happy for my old business partners. So the same thing goes with Levin, right? The whole concept is we can make it here. We can compete here. We do not have to go overseas. So, and then the second piece of advice I would give to entrepreneurs is this is a journey. It is a marathon, not a sprint.
Mhm.
The people that succeed are not the people that come up with an idea and it flashes immediately. It's very uncommon for that to happen. There's a common saying, the 10-year overnight success. And now I would say a lot of businesses that I've been in, they're 10 or 15 years of overnight success, which means it takes a lot of energy. There are a lot of obstacles and you have to persevere through them. So I consider that to probably be the most important attribute to an entrepreneur is just the ability to have that perseverance, that dogged determination that we will get this done no matter what. But perseverance without a plan is wasted energy. And so take the time up front, get to know the market, understand who the customer is that you really believe your product will help, and spend a ton of time learning about them, their needs, their pains, the gains that they're looking for, just the jobs that they're trying to get done. Because in there lies the opportunities for a successful new product. In there lies a problem that can be solved by innovation and smart entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I really love your story. So this is so inspiring. So let's say that somebody was able to go through that fate and then, the designing and starting their business with all the market research and the niche and the needs. But then there's so many, companies out there. It's just one solo company, but it sounds like you have a lot of employees that are a lot of resources that are able to help you assist you grow continuously. So would you be able to share the tips that how one solo entrepreneur can grow with all the resources and then continue growing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, there are a ton of resources available here in Alberta that are extremely helpful to entrepreneurs. If you happen to be a female entrepreneur like yourself, Amy, you'd probably want to speak with Alberta Women Entrepreneurs. They do funding, they do training, specifically for women-owned enterprises. If you're a technology firm, you would definitely want to check into Alberta Innovates. They do a ton of funding. They fund research. They have grants for commercialization, for research and development. National Research Council through the IRAP program is a fantastic program to help entrepreneurs bring their ideas to fruition with funding opportunities. And locally, if you really want to get connected locally, I recommend the Edmonton Regional Innovation Network, ERIN for short. They are the group that brings kind of all the tech ecosystem together, and they're within 1 or 2 degrees of separation from whoever you need to connect with in the technology ecosystem. Janice Baskins over there, the manager of the ERIN, she's fantastic. She's out in the community all the time. Absolutely say start there.
Wow. Yeah, that's been in the entrepreneur journey for a while, 7 years, but I wasn't aware of any of this. So I can imagine that there are a lot of entrepreneurs that just struggling. I feel like a lonely journey. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. I mean, it was one of the reasons when I left the day-to-day operations of Blue Falls to run this business of my own. I was getting into a space where I didn't really think I was an innovator. I didn't think I was a technology entrepreneur. And now that I look back, I see that we grew. One of the reasons we grew so much at Arctic Spas was because we were very innovative. We were introducing new technology all the time. And we were fantastic at selling it. I have to give kudos to my partners who really were absolutely amazing at selling all the new innovations that we could come up with. But I came into Edmonton because our factory was way out in Thorsby. I grew up in Leduc. So even though I went to college in Edmonton, I still had a really small network in Edmonton, and I didn't have any network with anyone in the innovation ecosystem. So I started just volunteering, and I found the Rainforest Initiative and really got behind that. I was in Entrepreneurs Organization here in Edmonton for 19 years. Those ways of building up your network and getting to know the ecosystem that you live in are absolutely wondrous for people who want to be successful entrepreneurs, because it is, you always need help. there is so much that we don't know, but there are people all around us that know it better than we do, and we can ask them if we just get out there and meet them and get to know who they are and find them. Yeah.
Is that where you meet those people from the while you're serving volunteering?
Yeah, I met tons of the innovation ecosystem through volunteering, through the Rainforest Initiative, and then um, it eventually wound down, but the ecosystem had grown really strong. The eRIN came in and really started helping people a lot. And it's been, I got to spend some time on the board or on the steering committee for the eRIN, and it's been a fantastic community driven, volunteer based organization that helps Alberta Innovates really understand who is on the ground and the help that they need.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that was my next question. So, we see a lot of people volunteering, helping, unprivileged people, like, helping with their meal preps like that. But when you were talking about volunteering, it's more focusing on helping the startups and then the entrepreneurs. It's a little bit different. Is it right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I believe in lifting where I stand. And by that, I mean, I have skills um, from being an entrepreneur my entire life that are valuable and useful to people that want to become entrepreneurs, want to start up businesses. So I believe the highest leverage I can have is by volunteering and mentoring and supporting people in that part of the ecosystem. There are other people and other charities out there that do wonderful things in other areas. Not my skill set. I try to stay focused on where I can have the most help and most advantage for the ecosystem.
Awesome. So could you share a little bit more about your story? Because I'm always interested in learning more about the background of the individual that because not it's not that easy, for everyone that become a serial entrepreneurs and get into that business journey. So is
Yeah,
it something that you grew up and then you see something differently than other people, or like you have some different like interest that you grew up? Like, could you share that? Why it is
sure.
so easy for you? Like, it's not easy, but I can imagine that how much like challenges you have to go through. But you have multiple the businesses that are it's going pretty good. So could you share that? Is there something that inspired you? There's some certain moment that, oh, I wanted to become an entrepreneur, you know?
Uh, so it didn't really unfold like that. So I grew up raised by a single mom. I have a twin brother and a sister that's only 11 months younger, and so we were very poor by Canadian standards. And my brother and I, we to make money to have things because we couldn't have things otherwise. My mom could barely scrape together enough to, keep a roof over our head, clothes on us, and keep us fed. So if we wanted anything else, we had to figure out how to make money. So at a very young age, we were doing paper routes. We were shoveling snow for money. We were mowing lawns, doing odd jobs, whatever we could. And that mentality has stuck with me forever. When I was in university, I ran a painting franchise. I've tried lots of businesses. Not all have succeeded, by the way, Amy. I've had some pretty catastrophic failures. Um, two that I know of where I lost, everything. So it's not for the faint of heart. I don't. I struggle with this question a little because I don't know how to tell people, how to find their way to this path later in life because I've kind of never known anything different. Um,
Hmm.
and so that's why it maybe, as you said, it maybe seems like it's easier for me because I had nothing to lose most of the journey that I was on. And when I did lose, I was so used to starting with nothing. It wasn't as painful for someone, my age now to try and start a business from scratch. I think that takes courage, like surprisingly more courage than I don't know if I have that at this age. I think if I could do it, so I'm super impressed when people take that leap.
Mm.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what?
amazing though, how much energy it takes. Like I remember, I was 28 when we started Blue Falls, and I had tons of energy. I could travel all over the place. I was on the road 6-7 months of the year with a young family. I had, pretty infinite energy, and now I have to really watch my energy, really care for myself along the way because
Mhm.
I'm not, I'm twice that age now, almost. Yeah. Oh no, I am twice that age. So
I see. Yeah. It sounds like you had a burning desire to solve your own problem in terms of economical, and
yeah.
then ended up that, oh, guess what? I have really nothing to lose. So why just keep continue? So like I can relate to my story that I'm a single mom and I didn't have any other secondary income to rely on. So then I had any other backup option when I become an entrepreneur. So then I had to just keep moving, regardless how many challenges was on front and I have to face. But when you don't have like when you're standing in front of cliff, you have no option to go back. You just gotta keep moving. So
Yeah.
I could relate that a lot. So okay, so let's go to the next question. So um, as wrapping up your one more question, sorry. So okay, so it sounds like things are going really well for you and your business, and so congratulations. So many busy professionals and entrepreneurs are earning strong incomes right now, but if it often requires significant investment time and energy. And looking ahead, a common goal is to maintain the same level of income or lifestyle while working less, and especially with the inflation at all-time high. So as a result, a lot of people are exploring ways to generate income outside of their primary work, such as like investing in stocks and cryptocurrency, precious metal, or real estate. What are your thoughts about income outside of work?
I think that it's wise to have a diversified portfolio. Um, personally, I wish I had more of that. I have a significant amount of my net worth is tied up in businesses, and that represents a lot of financial risk as I get older. Um, so I'm a big fan of diversifying your portfolio. I think everybody's different. Some people are, really believe in crypto and in assets like gold because of the concern around the debasement of the dollar and inflation on currency today. Some people are really, fantastic at real estate and understand that business and like to hold asset value in real estate. Others in stocks and bonds. I tend to have a pretty boring approach. I have a money manager who helps me with a stocks and bonds portfolio. Why? Because I'm not an expert in that, and I need to focus on what I am good at and where I have the biggest opportunity to change my financial income. The beauty of business is it really is about two things. It really is that simple. It's about two simple things. Value. You have to create some sort of value for somebody. Ideally, it's for that ideal customer profile. And then you have to be able to figure out how to leverage that. How do I leverage and scale that? How do I get more people working together and I get a benefit from that? So if we if we kind of keep those really two simple concepts in mind, you can actually really scale a business quite easily just by remembering those two things.
Yeah, that your story just reminds me of the book called The Go Giver. So just give, and then eventually people see the values and then come back to you, and it's just how that works, I guess. So thank you so much for your time today and sharing some of your great insights and inspiring stories with us. Could you, as a wrapping up our interview, what exciting plans or initiatives do you have upcoming over the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, we have some significant plans here at Levin. We're introducing 3 new products this year. We're launching with the 3 pilots with 2 of the largest builders in North America. And we've just finished an agreement earlier last year with the 3rd largest builder in North America. So now it's about execution. It's about us adding equipment at our factory and adding jobs and growing our capacity to deliver. So yeah, it's a very exciting and nerve-wracking time because there's just so much to do and not enough of us to do it all.
Yeah. Awesome. So, okay, so it was a great pleasure to have you on the show today. Feel like James, we can talk more. There's so much great stories, and I love how much you're passionate and resilient and inspiring. If people would like to connect with you, how they can get a hold of you?
They can probably check me out on LinkedIn, James Keirstead, right on LinkedIn. Or reach out through our website. Or out in the community. I attend eRIN events every now and then. Less now because I'm so busy, but I do try to get out to them when I can.
Awesome. Would you like to mention what's the name of the website?
Levin.com, LEVVEN.com.
Awesome. So we truly appreciate your time and the perspective you brought to the conversation, James.
Thank you, Amy.
Want to share your success story? Apply to be a guest at truenorthsuccessshow.com/guest. We'd love to hear from you.